Baby, the girls are gonna like me today because this episode was a hot mess. Ooh, this episode was a hot mess. Okay, let's get in.
What's going on YouTube?
Jamal,
What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This your boy, Party for here once again.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Jabari for here once again. We're here to talk about episode 2 of season 2 of gsatlh ATL Hustle. Boo! I have feelings, I have thoughts, and I have what? Opinions written on this notebook paper. Okay, because this woo, this is gonna be fun. And again, I'm telling y'all need to watch this show. The show is so messy and so entertaining. So messy, so entertaining. gsatlh ATL, please, my audience, y'all go check out and support this show. This is going to be a very interesting season because we are off to the bullshit just on episode 2. And I'm here for it because that means I'm going to be entertained all the way through. Amen. Whew. And again, if anybody from the cast happens to come across this video, don't take anything I say personally. I'm only discussing what I saw on the telly. Only talk about what I saw on the episode. I'm not saying I have a problem with you in real life. Hopefully I'll get to interview somebody across the cast over the course of the season. But I'm just going by what I see. So don't take offense. Now let's go. So I am over, and I was over this last week, whether or not Akeem and Jabari, Zion, whomever it is that he may be referred to, fucked or not. I'm pretty much convinced that he did because he just had that lie face on, acting like he didn't know what was going on. And I feel like Akeem ain't really got no reason to lie. So, but then again, that was just hashed out and extended way too long. Because I'm like, either nobody's going to admit to anything, nobody's going to fess up, or so it's like, how long are we really going to continue to have this conversation? So I was like, girl, that was a chop. But we get introduced to Sharad's other friend, Roman. Hey, Roman. Roman fine as hell. I need to find Roman's Instagram. I'm definitely going to follow him after I finish recording this video. Roman fine as hell. So he talks to Sharad about, how they have met with, Tramel and what happened with them at the event, Charlie's listening party. And I mean, Sharad pretty much says that it didn't really go too well. They tried to hash everything out. He tried to extend this olive branch, but Tramel wasn't really trying to hear it. And apparently Tramel went on some sort of radio show or had some interview on some platform and was asked about Sharad or alluding to Sharad or something like that. I wish we had like an audio segment of what they were referring to. But apparently Sharad had spoke with the host of the show and tried to ask him not to mention him or bring him up at all, but I guess he did anyway in one way or shape or form. And Tramel commented on whatever their relationship or lack thereof that he had an issue with. So I'm like, okay. And we learned that apparently Tramel slid in Roman's DMs. And I feel like they're just alluding over and over again that Tramel is a bottom child, because Roman's like, I'm versatile, and that's just not going to work. So I feel like everybody just alluded to the fact that Tramel is a bottom, and I see it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like, I don't know. I'm still just like, Tramel is just, I'm trying to keep an open mind but I just don't. I'm slightly annoyed, just only slightly. Tramel is the least of my annoyances from this season because there's a lot more. Oh, there's a lot more, especially this week. So let's just talk about the dinner from the beginning, because this dinner pretty much lasted an hour. of an hour of the show was pretty much the happenings at this dinner. So Sherrod tries to have everyone break the ice. Okay. And in order to break, they says that, we're waiting for Akeem to get here because they've been sitting there for a while. Akeem still has yet to show up. How do I even want to introduce this particular topic? Because I was so confused and baffled by this particular person. We're introduced to a brand new cast member, and his name is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And at first, I'm like, oh, he seems like, an attractive guy. Let's see what he's got going on. And where he says that he's like an actor, rapper, all the things that Black Gay Hollywood, says everybody does the same things, but they don't do the same thing. He did his freestyle in the confessional. Now I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and this is the only time in this review that I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He tried to do this freestyle and they gave him like a beat, but I felt like the beat that they gave him didn't match his flow of the words, so it made it sound worse than what it actually was, at least to me. But then I'm like, okay, cool, fine, whatever. But my issue came when Delicious was up there trying to say, hey, my name is Delicious. I'm a rapper. I do this, I do that. Or, she's just going down kind of introducing herself because we're breaking the ice. Like, not everybody knows each other. So typically in an event setting when you're trying to, network and get to know each other, you have to introduce yourself. And for some reason, 4 said, oh, this bitch out here talking, she doing all this, she talking too much and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what? Who? What? I was very confused. I'm like, she didn't even say nothing. She's sitting there introducing herself to a group of people. And you're saying that she's talking too much. I was very confused. I'm like, did something get cut? Something had to have gotten cut that we didn't see. Because even I can't fathom, like, where did you, what is the issue here? So you just have a problem with her, the way that she looks? And you're just, that irritated me because, I love you some Delicious. I love Delicious, hey girl. And you just going off at the mouth for nothing, and for what? I don't understand. And I love Devon. Like, Devon this week gets a golden star because he was defending all of my boos this week, and he was the one that had the most common sense. And he was like, I don't know what her issue is. All she did was just trying to introduce herself. I'm like, yes, Devon. That's the same thing I'm saying. I'm like, I don't understand this bitch's problem. I'm like, that was very confusing. And I'm gonna ask this question to production if I ever get the chance to, because I remember when this season 2 was like being promoted initially, like either like last fall or early this year, that Brandon was supposed to be a cast member, and now he's not. And when he was introducing himself, they let him say his first name, but they bleeped out his last name as if we don't know it. That was interesting. I'm like, okay, what happened there? I'm just curious. So everybody's going around introducing themselves. Tramiel said he's a retired model. Now, I don't know who it was that was in the corner. That was the shady off-camera voice, but they said exactly what I was thinking. I feel like in order to retire from something, you have to do it for an extended period of time. And I felt like you just told us, either the beginning of this season, late last season, that you were just trying to get it off the ground, but now you're retired. Okay. Now, we get to, I guess the guy's name is Lando, who's some the typical actor, director, producer, rapper, singer, they do everything, a type of person. And then we see 4 again he was saying that he was like, I'm gonna save the best for last and blah blah blah. And 4 is in the goes in the back like, I'm actually the one that's last, not you, sweetie. So there's this whole like shadiness, the cattiness, and I'm like, okay, so where did that come from? And he gives us the background in the confessional, saying apparently they met on a set, and he asked him to send pictures of his feet, and asked him to this event that they were like doing dry corn sucking bananas and fruit and shit. I'm like, okay, so see, that makes more sense. You see how you gave me context and background as to why you were being shady and a bitch? That, okay, I can understand that, boom. Still don't understand your issue with Delicious though. That just felt like, some sort of hate that we won't talk about. I'm just saying, because I'm telling you, that was so left field and I hated it. So we get to Redrick. I'm not sure how they pronounce that name. Oh, I'm not sure how they really pronounce the name because I feel like I forget it each time. But the pretty boyfriend. We get to her and, she introduces herself and this thing and forward, and she's saying, I am, like this, androgynous person. I don't have anything against, trans people, but I just am who I am. I express myself the way I express myself. And Delicious says, you know what, girl, I think you're beautiful. I think you're wonderful. I think people like us, we need to stick together. We are like cut from the same cloth, that and forth. And I'm like, in a sense, yes. We're technically all in the same community, but while Delicious is sitting there giving love to Redrick, like saying, hey, yes, you're beautiful, we're all beautiful, this, that, and forth. Why is 4 in the back trying to say, oh no, we're all beautiful, but you're not beautiful. Like, I don't know what you thought and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why are you pressed? Let me tell y'all something. And I knew this midway, especially by this point. And I said what I said. 4 is a personification of the worst parts of the Black gay community. 4 is that type of person who went on and on in the confessional talking about he's been flued out, he's done some auditions, something in relation to an association with MTV and all this stuff, but yet is downing people that's on the same platform as him, as if, how could you be greater when we're all on the same show? And he's talking about, well, I've done this and I've done this. I have never heard of you. I've heard all the people that you're trying to shade in this room. I know who they are. I don't know you. And don't really care to at this point, to be completely honest with you, at least just from what I'm seeing. Like, you try to talk about Sherrod, you was talking about Brandon, and you were talking about, Brandon's friend Roman later in the episode, and I'm just like, I know I've seen them all before. I don't know you. You got flued out, and it's something with MTV, then why aren't you on it right now? And if you are, where's the clip? Where's the receipt? They flew you out, but what did you do? I hate people who try to make themselves greater than thou and then try to shade everybody else, but it's just like, in what position? Like, what, who? No, sweetie. You're doing way too much, trying to get your own little camera time and just making you look the fool. So Sherrod decides to bring up the interview that Tramel had with the other host that happens to be at the table. And I'm like, I guess that's what this dinner networking thing is supposed to be for. And then again, Hakeem, well, I'm gonna get to Hakeem later. I'm gonna get to her when she actually arrives to the event 3 years later. But everybody's under the impression that this is supposed to be a networking event where we, I guess, hash out and discuss things like this is supposed to be Let's Fix My Life or something. But okay. So Sherrod brings up the interview, and of course Devon is trying to, defend him because he felt like, everybody was kind of bullying him last season, which I definitely agree about the whole porn thing. And I'm just like, again, why are we like trying to downplay and degrade porn stars when you laying in bed at 12 o'clock at night and you're trying to fall asleep, you go through your bookmarks and they're there. Like, if nobody does it, what are you gonna watch? I've never understood the whole shaming of the porn thing. If it's not for you, just don't do it. You're gonna talk down about anybody else. But be that as it may, 4 is still just randomly attacking Sherrod, trying to make all these dick jokes and how he supposedly gets rammed and this, that, and the fourth. Let me tell you something. The fact that 4 mentioned how much he loves Jeffree Star in his confessional, I'm like, that is very telling. For you, as a black gay man, to admire or have any sort of adoration for Jeffree Star, there's nothing. There's really nothing for you. So Akeem finally arrives to the event, and girl, how you gonna show up to your own event late as fuck? Anyways, he was trying to say how he was so mad that Charlie and I think mainly just Charlie didn't show up to the event. Charlie was at a different fashion show with his best friend and some event. I mean, honestly, if that was my other alternative, I would have went to the fashion show too, because this whole thing is a mess. This whole whatever this dinner situation is a hot mess. So let's talk about Akeem saying that, you know, he wanted this to be this networking event and he said he invited someone. So we're all kind of sitting here looking like, okay, so why are we here? Like, who the heck did you invite? I'm wondering, like, I had no idea who he was supposed to be inviting. And when he said that he brought Dre Simber, bitch. Let me tell you something. I was catching up on the first season of gsatlh earlier this year, and when Dre Simber came at the end of last season, I was like, my vibe, my energy said not that one. My energy did not agree with what was going on over there. It did not give me the good vibe, and he had already got into it with Sherrod trying to be shady, and they fought, and I was, you know, that's when I knew I was Team Sherrod. But I do not get a good vibe from that whore. She is, again, just another, in my opinion, bad representation of the black gay community. And then when they said that 4 and Dre Simber were best friends, it all made sense. The stars all aligned, and I'm like, I get it. I see it. Because y'all are one and the same. Ooh, wow. Why did y'all bring Drake? See, Akeem, you're messy. You're trying to pass this off as you want to do some sort of networking event. You know that these hoes don't like each other. What they gonna network about? What did you honestly expect? This is such a stupid idea, child. Let's see. Okay. So Brandon tries to hash out, I guess, an interaction with Sherrod that they had on a past project, because you're gonna know that Sherrod and Brandon used to work on the About Him web series some years ago, and I guess they had a issue, a falling out at some point. I was confused because as they're trying to have this moment, well, I guess trying to address something, he decides to sort of pull back and say that, well, I don't want to address it. We should have, you know, our moment one-on-one, which is which I can necessarily understand, because sometimes it's not everybody else's business to have like this whole, hash out. And Akeem felt like, no, let's do this here, let's do this now, like what's your issue, and blah blah blah. It felt like Akeem didn't want anyone to necessarily resolve their issues. This felt more like, I want to get everybody else's business and tea out. It didn't feel like he wanted to resolve. It felt like he just wanted to know what everyone's issues was so he could be nosy. That's what it felt like. Because when Brandon was trying to say, I'm not really comfortable trying to hash out like a personal issue that I have with someone in front of everybody whose business it has nothing to do with. And I'm like, that's how I would feel. Like, I'm not about to sit here and hash out something that has nothing to do with everybody else in the room. Like, if it doesn't involve them, why do they need to know? So that's why I was like, Akeem, you're doing a lot. And you just have the nerve to like really get mad. I'm like, what? What is going on? What is really going on? Like, I was mad confused. And then it shifts from Brandon talking about Sherrod to then Brandon and Roman getting into it, because they're like, okay, well, Roman was like, do you have a problem with me? And I'm like, what? Wait, when? What? How did this happen? So apparently they blocked each other on Twitter or DM, whatever social media platform. They blocked each other and they was having a conversation, and one perspective said, oh, well, after we had a conversation, you tweeted about, web actors, and sent some sort of shady tweet out, and then they had an issue with that. And I'm like, okay, they said that this is something that happened like 2 years ago. Why are we hashing this out now? Like, why do we care now? This is like, okay, so you blocked me, you felt some type of way. Okay, do you feel that type of way now? No? Okay, then let's date it. Like, why are we trying to address something that happened 2 years ago? As if, are you mad that you got blocked, or are you just mad that they said something? And if they said something, that's their opinion. If you don't agree with it, then don't follow them, and then that's it. Like, why are we, I don't know. I just felt like this whole thing was just weird. So, now this is where I really got confused. Okay, I'm trying to remember, because I felt like I had to have missed something somewhere. Why was Roman and Akeem about to fight? Like, he was literally, like, Akeem was taking food out of his mouth. I'm like, where did they do that? I'm going to sit and finish and chew my food properly and swallow it before I decide to start arguing with somebody, before I sit up there and be like, and tearing food out of my mouth and putting it back on the plate. That's fucking gross. That's fucking gross. So, it was very weird how Akeem was getting into it with everyone, but then was wondering like, why these bitches ain't getting along. I'm like, you right there with them. What? This dinner was a hot mess. Okay? It was a hot mess. So, December decides that, he wants to address Sherrod. And I'm just like, here we go. Round motherfucking, 3? So he's like, well, I just want to know why you've been, bringing me up, and why you keep doing the internet shit, why you keep going on lives and, doing all this stuff. And I'm just like, He thought that they were cordial, and I'm just, after the type of disrespect that y'all were going through last year, like, it's no surprise that he doesn't like you, because it seems like Sherrod's very vocal, and there's like, if he has a problem with you, he has a problem, and it's probably, he's gonna be vindictive about it forever. But my thing is, you, from what I saw, were doing the same thing. So, maybe I'm missing something, maybe they cut something out of the scene, but Devon is defending Sherrod. And so now we get a Devon versus December situation, because Devon felt like both Four and December were ganging up on Sherrod, and he was like, oh no, not today. Okay, and I told you, like, Four and December just give me that catty, messy, black gay that I can't stand. Like, that is the worst part are my least favorite part of our community. Like it is that stereotype. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I feel like that's what a lot of people feel like we all are. So when I see it, I'm like, I can't vibe with that. I'm sorry. And there was a comment where Joyce Simmer says that he was a veteran. And of course, Forrest in the back trying to say like, well, did she lie? Like, did she lie? Like, she's from season 1. I'm like, she's from season 1, like the last 2 to 3 episodes of like 10, 11, 12 episode season. I feel like as a veteran, you should be there throughout the whole thing. And it's like, when you're there just for like a couple of episodes and you just fight, is that like a badge of honor? Like, of course you would be the one to defend this shit. I'm telling you, I cannot with them. I can't. This might be biased just because, I love me some Sherrod, but even like last season, I remember texting Scotty about this. I can't with Joyce Simmer. I cannot. And now I cannot with 4. Can't do it. At least for right now. Things may change over the course of the season, but right now, I can't. I'm not gonna be able to do it. So, of course, when Devon says, like, I'm that girl. Like, she's like, I'm a veteran because I'm, doing Chase in Atlanta. And he's done, I think, some other shows because everybody was like so excited to see him. I wasn't familiar with who he was, but I've heard that he's been on a lot of different shows. So, I mean, I feel like he's probably considered a veteran because he's doing all these things. I don't know, other than, fight in a couple of scenes in this season or this series. I don't know what Joyce Simmer has done outside of that, as far as I can consider him a veteran of anything. But they were going at it, and Devon actually picked up a drink and tossed that belt. I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. And I see, this is where it starts to get a little bit dangerous because you're throwing glass. Like, you're tossing things across the table. I saw, like, I want to say Joyce Simmer threw a plate like a damn Frisbee toward the bitch. I'm just like, oh, shit, here we go. Now, again, producers of the show, should any of you happen to see this, why was y'all putting the TD Jakes serving over this fight? Like, why was I hearing an undertone of TD Jakes serving under this fight while everybody's going at it and getting mad and pushing everybody around? Like, why am I hearing TD Jakes? That was funny. I don't know. But this was a great episode. And I feel like if you have a show that invokes like a lot of different emotions and makes you want to discuss things, it's a good sign. So shout out to gsatlh, and because y'all doing the damn thing, y'all getting the drama started early. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. So make sure you guys go and support the channel. Like, I'm really enjoying this show. I hope maybe if I sent some people their way, because the video that I did when it first came out, it actually did a lot better than I thought it would. I really didn't think anybody was going to catch it or really watch it, but a lot of people, even from the cast and the show, showed us some love. So I really, really appreciate that. If anybody watches this, I really appreciate you giving me support. And y'all tell me what y'all thought about this episode, because I was just like, it was a mess. It was a good kind of mess. Very entertaining foolishness. So let me know what y'all thinking about it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Like, share, subscribe.
Jamar.
Washington.